Okay, let's be real for a second. I did not grow my email list to 2,000 subscribers in 6 months by being famous, going viral, or even by being perfectly consistent. I did it by building and offering what I call attract assets. These are strategic, super high value pieces of content that are designed to bring the right people into your email audience. Some people call them lead magnets or freebies or giveaways. It's all the same thing. But there are a couple tricks to this that really matter if you want to be successful. In this video, I'm walking you through the exact steps that I've taken multiple times to go from zero list, zero audience, zero momentum to building an email list that can become the engine behind your entire business. Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Melissa from Zero to B2B, and I use all of my years of experience working with Fortune 500 companies to help small businesses and entrepreneurs grow their businesses. And if you have been spinning your wheels trying to build an audience without burning out, this video was made just for you. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need a content team. You just need to build smart attract assets that earn attention, that give your audience value. You need to offer them in the right way, and then you need to know what to do once you have the attention of that audience. Let me show you how I did it. And spoiler alert, yeah, of course, there's a free resource to help. I've got a whole list of attract asset ideas that you can use in B2B in particular, which can be a little bit more difficult than B2C. And I'll list that link in the description below. Side note, just for clarity, the YouTube channel that you're watching right now is super new and probably still very small. So the email list that I'm referring to isn't for this business right now. It's a little early for that. So the email list I'm referring to here is for a couple of old businesses, as well as other clients that I've done this for multiple times. I'm definitely not up to 2K email subscribers just yet, but like I said, I've done this multiple times for others as well as for myself. And stay tuned to watch my progress building an email list for this channel and this business. Hint, I'm using the exact same techniques that I'm talking about and walking you through in this video so that I can do it again. So how fast do you think I can reach 2,000 email subscribers this time? Wait and see. So the first step that I did, and that I always do both for myself and for my clients, is set up the foundation first. So there are basically 3 things that you need to do to set up that foundation. First is to create an attract asset. Next, you create a landing page with an opt-in form that's connected to your email list. And third is to write and automate a multi-part email welcome sequence. That way, when someone visited my website, there was already a way to capture that attention, a place to land, a reason to opt in, and something valuable waiting for them. Step number 2. This one is a total game changer. I used an attract asset or mentioned an attract asset in just about every piece of content that I posted. For one business, it was on a YouTube channel, and this was actually the fastest list that I grew, for myself at least. But I want to be super clear. You absolutely do not have to have a YouTube channel to make this work. The same strategy applies to a lot of different tactics. It works on social channels, on blogs, on, publishing articles to third-party websites. So no YouTube channel required specifically, but you do have to be sharing value somewhere. You know that old saying, build it and they will come? It does not work. You have to be somewhere giving something in order for people to see you. And we'll talk a little bit more about that somewhere sharing something in a moment. But first, let's talk about what makes a really good attract asset. First of all, this is not an annoying pop-up or a bait and switch technique. It must be genuinely helpful, genuinely relevant to your audience, and fulfill the promise that you say it's going to fulfill. It also works best if it's action-based, something that your audience can do to help better their situation. The idea is that you need to invite people to engage with you by giving them something that's really truly valuable. And you absolutely cannot go into this expecting anything in return. You have to give freely and generously in a way that actually builds a relationship with your audience. Then, somewhere down the line, after you've taken the time to actually build that relationship, and if it's a good fit for that person, you can offer them the opportunity to work with you. But not right away, and not inside of this attract asset. An attract asset is only meant to give something, not ask for something in return. Now, yes, your attract asset should definitely include your contact information in the event that your customer is so excited about what they've received that you've already proven your value to them enough that they want to work with you right away. They should have a way to reach you. It's also a really great practice to offer a CTA in that asset for another piece of valuable content, but otherwise not much more. Again, give, don't ask. And if that customer that uses your attract asset doesn't end up working with you, that is completely okay. In fact, most people won't. Your product isn't going to be the right fit for everyone, but at least you'll know that you're putting something good into the world that actually helps people, even if they don't end up being your customer. Here's how I think about approaching an attract asset. What does someone watching this video want to do next? And what can I give them to help them take that step even faster or better than they would have on their own? Whatever that tool is that helps your audience take that next step, that's your attract asset. Simple as that. As a part of my plan, I created a variety of different attract assets. Some of them were templates, some of them were checklists or guides. I even created a couple of calculators. Then I plugged each one naturally into a video. Like, hey, if you want help with this thing that I'm talking about right now, here's a tool that's going to help you out. Then I added links in the video description and in a pinned comment to show how they could actually get it. This strategy alone, just sharing relevant and valuable assets on YouTube, ended up eventually bringing in hundreds of email subscribers per video. And I did not have a big channel either. Most of my videos had less than 1,000 views. And don't worry, if you are racking your brain for what a good attract asset might be, I have you covered. I put together a list of 40 different ideas that you can use that actually convert in B2B. Yeah, I just offered you an attract asset in a video talking about attract assets. This is starting to feel like Inception. Step number 3 was that I posted on YouTube every week. Like I said, it doesn't have to be YouTube if you're not into that. But it does have to be something, and you do have to do it pretty regularly. Was I consistent every single week? Not always. But I aimed for weekly video content, and I optimized it around 3 things. Number 1 was a searchable title for things people were actually looking for. Number 2 was a clear and helpful promise. Number 3 was making sure I could incorporate an attract asset that delivered on how to do that next step. I focused on winnable keywords, not trying to rank against the big names in the niche, but rather trying to answer the questions that people might have or the problems that they might have when they're looking for that kind of subject matter. And because I wasn't chasing viral hits, that wasn't my goal, I created evergreen content that kept bringing in new viewers and new email subscribers long after I initially published. Now, I'm going to give you one caveat, and that's that if you are trying to start a YouTube channel and that's your primary goal, you might want to mix this up with videos that don't offer an attract asset. Here's why. Part of the YouTube algorithm judges whether or not someone is engaging with your video and then engaging with the next video that you have to offer. So YouTube wants to see that your viewers are watching the whole video and they want to see that they're interested in the next video that you have to offer. When you promote an attract asset, something that might happen is that they might click on that link, go to your website, and then not return to YouTube. To YouTube, that is not the behavior that they want to see, obviously. So if your primary goal is to build a YouTube following and not an email list, then I would suggest, peppering in an attract asset maybe every 3rd video or so. I would never ever suggest that someone abandon an email list entirely, even if your goal is to build, a YouTube following. But not offering an attract asset as often will get you closer to your primary goal of winning that YouTube audience. Step number 4 is letting your email sequence do the work for you. When someone signs up to get something of value from you, you obviously don't want to leave them hanging, but pretty much all of us don't have the capacity to respond one-to-one with anyone who might subscribe to an email list. That's where an automated email sequence comes into play. In that first email, you want to introduce a little bit about who you are, not too long, and most definitely deliver the asset that you promised to deliver. Then over a series of emails across the next few weeks, what you want to do is offer additional value. You want to either offer more attract assets or more tips and tools and tricks that your audience is going to find valuable. You can invite them to engage more with your content, whether that's videos or a podcast or a blog. You can offer them links to download more tools, and you can ask them to hit reply to tell you something or ask you a question. If you're listening carefully, you'll notice something that I didn't just say, and that's to pitch a product. Again, this email sequence is not about making a sale. It's about building a relationship. The time for a sale comes after you've built a relationship. I sort of equate this to the experience of dating. Let's say you go to a singles event and the person across from you immediately asks you to marry them. What are you going to say to that? You're definitely going to say no. Asking for a sale too soon is very much like proposing marriage the first time you meet someone. You need to offer them more value before you make that request. The goal of your email sequence is to build trust, to open up conversations, and to have people stick around for more. And if it's working really well, then naturally you will get to the next step when it is time to make an offer. The great thing about email sequences is that they're automated. So you only have to write them once, set them up once, and then they work on your behalf every single day. Step number 5 was that I really focused on relevance over volume. In marketing, we often refer to things called vanity metrics. These are things like the number of views or likes or reach. While all of those things can be really important metrics to gauge whether or not you're headed in the right direction, they can also be a little bit misleading, because what's most important is not whether you get a ton of views or likes. It's that you get views and likes from the people who are your target audience and who are a naturally good fit for your product. So if I post something that's totally irrelevant to my audience and I get a lot of attention because of it, am I closer to my goal of selling my product? No, not at all. And that's why those things can be considered vanity metrics. So the goal isn't a crazy amount of exposure. Although if you get that, that's great. The mindset shift that helped me a lot was to realize that I didn't have to be everywhere, and I didn't have to make something that engaged with everyone. I didn't post on 6 different platforms. I posted on one platform, and I focused on creating one really relevant, really valuable attract asset for each video that I posted. And because each of these attract assets solved a small but very real problem, the people who wanted to download it wanted to be on my email list, wanted to get the extra goodies that came next. Because, spoiler alert, I'm the kind of person who really likes to surprise and delight my audience. When you sign up for one of my attract assets, the next thing that you're going to get in a following email is an attract asset that you didn't even ask for, but that hopefully provides you even more value. I would highly recommend that you do the same, because your focus needs to be on relevance to your audience and providing them value. It's really simple and straightforward. If your audience needs help with something, create an attract asset that can give them the help that they need. And just watch how then asking for nothing in return builds trust between you and them. So step number 6 is just to continue down that path and build out a bank of these attract assets. Eventually, I didn't have to make something new for every single video. I just pulled from the library of attract assets that I'd already made. And again, if you're struggling with an idea of what kind of an attract asset is really going to provide that great value to your audience, I've got you covered. There's a link in the description below to a list of 40 different attract asset ideas that I have personally seen be successful in B2B. That way, as you're building your bank of assets, you have some ideas perpetually sitting there in case you get stuck. So that's how I have gone from 0 to 2,000 subscribers within a 6-month time frame multiple times. No hacks, no paid ads, no gimmicks. Just intentional strategy and consistent useful content built off of one main idea. Every piece of content should help your customer and lead them to take positive action. So if you want to grow your list, start there. Download the 40 attract asset ideas below, subscribe and like if this video was helpful for you, because I have so much more coming and I cannot wait to share it with you. Because I know that you've got something valuable to share, and I want to be here to help you do that, to help you share it with your audience in a way that grows your business. Let's make sure your content reaches the people who really need it. That's all for today. See you in the next one.